Hi guys, my wife's cooking dinner. Extractor fan is on, or extractor hood, so we've got some background noise for my video this afternoon. Poundland today. I bought a pack of 8 foil containers, a kiddie's electric toothbrush, and a nasal hair removal kit. I bought these two because they've got electric motors in them, and I've got ideas what I want to do with them. And I bought these to make boats. So first thing I'm going to do is use one of these, see if I can reshape it a bit so it's a little bit more boat shaped. Make a prow, a pointy bit at the front. Then I'll take this one apart. The electric motor points that way, and there's a plastic attachment on it that rotates a little spinning knife or blade. I'm going to see if I can replace that with a bit of bicycle spoke, so we can have that inside the boat, bicycle spoke coming through a bit of plastic tubing, and then at the other end a propeller, so we can have a little electric boat. And I shall make a propeller out of this bit of tin plate. I should just draw a propeller shape on it, cut it out, and probably hot glue it on the end of the bicycle spoke. I could solder it on, but probably don't need to. First thing, I want to have a look, see what we can do making this a boat shape. A bit of tin plate, or tin foil, aluminium foil. Have it in mind, if I bent the front out a bit, we can have a boaty McBoat face shape. Yeah, I'll work on that a little bit, see if we can make it. Well, actually that's not too bad as it is, but I want it a little bit better than that. I spent a bit of time the other night making one out of origami, and that worked fine, but it did occur to me that I was working very hard for something that I could probably do just like this. Probably, he says. It might help if I fold that back a bit. And we'll get a bit of an upward thrust. Which way did I fold that? That way. Yeah, that's the sort of thing I had in mind. Boat shaped. So, next thing is convert this into the power supply. And there we are, we've got a little plastic bit on there. If we lever that off, yeah, that's the front of the motor, shaft of the motor. So a bit of rubber tubing or something to link that to a bit of bicycle spoke. Stick that in there like that. Propeller sticking out the back. Should be okay. Need to put a hole in there. We'll need some hot glue to seal around the edges. Hot glue or 2-part epoxy resin, something like that. Either would do, I should think. I've just stripped the insulation off a bit of wire It's a nice soft flexible bit of insulation. And it fits over there nicely. And it fits on that bicycle spoke nicely. So that will do for my power transmission, I suppose we could call it. Linking the motor to the prop shaft. We need to stick that in there. Stick a hole in the back. Bit of tube in. And then we need to make our propeller. Now, I'll put a link in the video description. Somewhere or other I've got a video on how to make them out of these credit cards, which is simple enough. And I could do that now, but I am going to do it out of this bit of tin plate because that's what I said I was going to do. A nice sharp pair of dividers will do the job very well, but I'll use this compass. That'll be the radius of our propeller. Don't need it to be too big. Okay. Choose somewhere on the edge. I should have flattened this a bit more first, but I think we get the general idea. Let's see if I can flatten it a bit more. Obviously there'll be sharp edges if you're using metal like this, so try not to cut yourself. Right, where that intersects, we need to stick the point in again. Oh dear. If I was using my nice dividers, they'd dig a nice deep hole in there. Right, nice little sort of flower petal design. And what we want to do is cut out those bits, which will leave us with 3 petals, which will then twist to give us the propeller. Now, you could do it with scissors. I've got proper little tin snips here. So. Be a good idea not to rub off the design that you've just drawn. Then we want to cut in the bits that I just showed you that we want to cut out. So that's in there. Don't want to go right into the middle, you want to stop a little bit short each time. So there's our propeller. Need to make the hole in the middle a little bit bigger so we can actually get the bicycle spoke in there. As I say, you can, in this case, because I've used tin plate, we could solder it in place, or we can just use hot glue to hold it. Just use my scrap bit of wood so I can make that hole a little bit bigger. Okay, and then depending on which way we want the propeller to turn, you can give this a little bit of a twist, a little bit of a twist, a little bit of a twist. So that one's turned that way. Good point, I didn't think to check which way around the thing actually turns. Let's just measure how long we want this to be. About that long. Slide that up on there. Stick that on there. Turn it on, just see which way around it's going to turn. That's actually the right way round. Well, that was a bit of luck. Yeah, okay. Then we'll cut a bit of tubing. That comes out of a spray bottle, one that's got a handle on that you squeeze, and that's the pipe that goes down to the bottom of the bottle. So it's a nice bit of hard plastic that happens to be the right diameter to go on there. Yeah. Little bit of a break in continuity there because I got sidetracked onto something completely different. Putting some wires onto this receiver because I want to try and put radio control on a toy that I was working on. That meant I had the soldering iron out, so I've actually soldered the propeller onto the end of the bicycle spoke. I also took the time to actually round the edges off so we haven't got quite such lethal little points spinning round. So that's what we want. So we need a bit of plastic tubing now. sort of, yeah, that sort of length ought to do. Put top back on the pen. Tube. Yeah, that should be okay. If you really wanted to, you could put some grease in there or something to reduce the chances of the water coming up through. But I'm not really going to worry about that. I only need it to last long enough to demonstrate it working. If we have it up at a reasonable angle, then there'll be less chance of the water coming in, because the water will only come in if the top of that tube is below the water line. So, if we just sort of make a bit of a dent in the bottom there, it should go down even lower. We need to lift this up a little bit, probably some bits of card or something underneath it, or a bit of styrofoam to lift it up, and then hot glue it in place. And there we are, a bit of scrap foam in there, the nasal hair remover, just hot glued on top of the foam at a nice angle, so it's pointing down. I think we can see the angle it's at there. So we should have a little boat. We could add a rudder on the back. We'd have to have a bit of wire coming out the back here a bit, because you want the rudder behind the propeller, and I've got the propeller sticking out quite a long way here. So we'd have to have a bit of bent wire out there, down there, and then have it so we can adjust it. But I think I'll just let it run round the sink like it is. Because the first question is, what's the balance like? Well, we'll find out. Not too bad. We could do with a little bit more weight in it actually, to hold it down in the water a bit more. Well, it needed a lot less weight than I thought. I put my lead weights in there and it tipped right up, so I've got some bits of blue tack in there now. So there you are, a bargain store project, as I used to call them. Nasal hair remover from Poundland, and a foil tray, takeaway tray from Poundland. Bit of scrap foam, hot glue gun, a bit of bicycle spoke for the shaft, propeller shaft, and the propeller is cut from a little bit of tin plate that was originally aerosol spray can, and a bit of flexible insulation off of a piece of wire to connect the propeller shaft to the motor shaft. If you wanted to put it on a bigger pond or something, then you would need to put a rudder on there so you could control it a bit. Job done. Hey, thanks for watching. There's plenty of videos on my main channel. with more added daily. So don't forget to subscribe and enable the notifications to keep you up to date with my new releases. You can help keep my channel running by donating $1 on Patreon to buy me coffee. You can always find more information in the video description. Thanks again for watching.